Hey, how's it going? I just have one card, and it is from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck from Kim Kranz, and it's the Peacock card. And it's interesting that this card is the one that came out because I, like you probably, are also, wait a minute, that came out all crazy. I am, and you might be too, feeling all kinds of stuff, really, with what's been going on lately. I mean, I've just been watching over the past months, stuff happen, things change, things not act the way they should, like crimes being committed, and they're like federal crimes by federal officers and elected officials, and the ones that should be doing things to address these crimes are only doing it in one direction, and that is not how we should be doing anything, because we do have two political parties. I mean, I wish we had more, but we have the two, and one is shutting out the other side. And all of us here in the United States are very opinionated and very sure of what we know. And as I watch everyone, I watch them finding out that what they were so sure of is not so certain anymore. Now, I'm no different. I keep being surprised by the times. So a couple of things really have like made an impact. Like, I can say that an impression was made. And one thing that I saw today was a post from Hawk Podcast. I'm gonna link it. And he's a TikToker, but he puts his videos on the other platforms. Like, I see it on YouTube, because I'm not on TikTok. And so I guess another TikToker he stitched her video like into his, like superimposed it, and he lets her go, and she's very adamant and very passionate about her view that if you have a large platform, so not me, but if you have a large platform, then you should, she says. She's telling you what you should be doing, okay? Right off, I'm not alright with that. Like, I do not like people telling me what to do. And like I said, she's very passionate, and I understand where she's coming from, but I don't agree with this. And so what she said was, if you have a big platform, or if you have a platform, really, I'm sure she means, you should be talking about everything that's happening. Many times I have said on my channel, I don't need to talk about politics. Like, I don't need to make that the main thing that I'm talking about on here, because there's so many other people doing it. I do talk about it occasionally, but this kind of came up when I was on Twitter, and then Facebook and Blue Sky, where people show who they are by sticking a bunch of stuff on their homepage, or whatever you call it for all of the different platforms. But I don't need to do that. I don't need to do all of that to show who I am. Just, if you want to know, go ahead and look at what my content is, and then you'll know. So, I'm a little picky about things myself here. So, like, she's saying, you should do it. And then like I said, she was passionate, so she kept getting kind of more and more worked up and like angry and like threatening, like you should do it. And I mean, I almost was gonna say, I don't think she said this, but it felt like her next words were gonna be like her next choice for her, sharing her opinion and getting all worked up was to be like, if you see someone with a platform and they're not doing it, then tell them to do it. I can't remember if I'm dreaming this up or if she actually said something like that. Regardless, that's what it felt like. And it was like, lady, get off me. So here's the thing. We're all different. We all resist in our own way. Like, we all mourn in our own ways. And I have had, like when my mom died, my family, because I was only 19, like, it wasn't even their right to move in and start controlling things, which they didn't get to do that because I didn't allow it. And anyway, but because I wasn't crying when my mom passed, like, just, I guess, falling apart, that I needed to see a psychologist. Like, that was seriously suggested to me, and I didn't say a damn thing because butt out. The reason why that didn't happen was because what I had in my mind at the time was, I don't want to fall apart until I get all of this aftermath business taken care of. Not that it was any of his business, the person that said this to me, the relative, but I was just like, bro, you can't just horn in like you're never here. You just show up all of a sudden and like try to stake domination. And like, no, you do not get to do that. You do not have stakes here. You don't have a dog in the game. And so, and it did happen, by the way, the breakdown and the crying and all of that. But just after all of this stuff was done, so that I didn't have to be breaking down in the middle of stuff, because even in a situation like somebody died, people are so intolerant of you crying. I don't know if it's all women, but it's just something I've run into, and it's like, dang, I don't have time for that right now. Like, it's enough with the mom dying and the relatives horning in with the opinions and suggestions. It's like, wow, okay, you can go now. But they were really upset because I didn't plan to give her a funeral. She had told me she wanted to be cremated. I already knew she would want to be cremated. She had cancer. It just, to me, I just knew she wanted to burn that shit out of her body. Like, and then she ended up saying that very thing, like, not long after. So I knew. And luckily, one of her cousins, someone from the relatives that were bossing me around were from my dad's side of the family. Also, someone who was never in attendance. But my mom's side of the family, one of her cousins was there. Someone her age, like older, I think, than my mom even. She may have even been older than the other side of the family people. And when they were like, you gotta make funeral arrangements and I'll buy some flowers. And I remember my mom saying when she was alive, I don't want their flowers. They didn't buy me flowers when I was alive and I could appreciate them. What do I want them when I'm dead? Which, also my feeling. So I said, there's not going to be a funeral. And that was when also they're like, you really got to get some help. And I was like, she didn't want it. I don't want it. I don't believe in funerals because, and this is true, I think it's just an opportunity, unless you're celebrating the life, it's just an opportunity to show up and show what a good mourner you are and what a good mourner you are. And, it's about face, like showing face, as opposed to saving face. It's about putting out the best face. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want that crap in this. I don't want any of that mixed up in my personal thing where my mom passed, because, I mean, it was very personal. Only a few people were around for her, and those two, I mean, I'm not saying that they did not help throughout my life. They didn't help her. They helped me. But, they were not, like, over there trying to be her friend, calling up and keeping in touch, or anything like that. So, I was like, you have to just butt out. And, that just goes to show, like, people think you're supposed to behave in a certain way, and it's not their place to tell you. And so with this woman, it was kind of that same feeling. But I'm not trying to take away from how she feels. Just don't be making threats on other people because they're not, like, resisting in the way that you see fit. And by the way, she can't keep track of all of everybody, so I believe she is part of the LGBTQ community, and so maybe that's why she was so fired up. But I'm also part of this community, so this community and the wheelchair community, I'm part of communities, so everyone has a dog in this game with the government right now and protesting what it's doing and not doing. But don't tell me what to do. I hate that. So, I mean, we're all kind of going through it right now. There's stress to downright fear for a lot of us because of what can be lost. But sometimes that's how life is. Like, sometimes it just stinks, and it's... But, you know, right now I think, like, what's happening to the country is unprecedented. What's happening with immigration, in or out, you know, citizen or not, is kind of nuts right now. And different and new. I mean, I can't even think of historically when it's been this way in this country. And so, it's a lot for everyone. And I was actually putting these cards away from yesterday, and I was shuffling them before I put them away, and this one popped out, and I thought, okay, well, let me just hang on to this. And so, when I got the book, obviously, there's some meanings you're going to immediately go with peacocking, or with peacock, which would be like showing off and being vain and preening, like fixing yourself all, like in every mirror, you know, like that. Those are like obvious ones. I don't really know their characteristics much as birds. I think they fight. I don't think they fly. Not like a seagull or an eagle or even a sparrow. I think they can fly like chickens. I could have that wrong though, because yeah, I have not spent a lot of time in person with the birds. But here's what it says, and it kind of made me think of what I was saying. So, peacock, inner beauty, compassion, assimilator of anything. The beauty of the peacock is unrivaled. It's easy to think it comes from the plumage. But the secret of the peacock is that the beauty resides within and extends outward indefinitely. This adept creature can assimilate or digest all experiences in life, so it does not harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain within its psyche. The peacock type is extremely rare. The peacock type is extremely rare. Many of us have reached this advanced level of acceptance of the self and others. So, that bit about assimilating everything and being compassionate and, what did it say again? Acceptance of self and others. See, that is something that I take to heart. Just as a general rule, I kind of feel like that anyway. I mean, I have opinions, obviously, but I'm going to come back around always to the fact that, you know, we all are affected by these unprecedented times. And it's freaking us out, to be honest. But at the same time, things are happening in the world. Things are heightening it's like bringing stuff to our attention. Like the huge issue people seem to have with the trans people. There's like the incel people that are so messed up, and they seem to be they want to get better and they want help, but they seem bound and determined to turn away from it. So that's I guess a symptom. There's just a lot of groups that are coming to people's notice, and sometimes it's like healthy and sometimes it's awful and terrible, like the treatment of people by ICE that they're trying to drag away illegally. I'm pretty sure I'm not a legal anything except an observer, and what I'm seeing does not look legal. I mean, you want to call a cop, but what would that do? I think some of them might have been cops, because boy, they're quick to violence, and boy, they're touchy. Like, they think that suddenly the rules they used to be don't apply, and I guess that's kind of true, because, well, I mean, you probably have a YouTube, you probably have a television, or a newspaper, or a neighbor, or an internet. Like, I don't think much of this is escaping many of us. But it seems to me that it's like we're getting the whole curriculum at once. Like, assimilate and accept what's going on and accept people and what's going on. But it's also explosive. And so, gosh, I don't even know. Like, volcanic. Like, all this crap's coming up and flying up into the air, and it's a big deal, and it's making a scene. Like, you know, people are running to get from getting hit by the lava, and it's coming down the mountain, and all of a sudden you have to pay attention to like everything at once. And doesn't it feel like there's pressure building and something's gonna come to a head? Well, I don't think it's gonna be any one thing, but I think the metaphor of the volcano, I don't know what accent that was. The metaphor of the volcano, though, drawing up the molten lava, the magma, from the magma underneath the ground. It's like all of this stuff that was buried forever, for like years, well, more than years, hundreds of thousands of millions of years, like all of it. None of it's new, okay? Maybe the operations for, you know, trans people is new, but the sexuality stuff, I don't think any of it is new. And it's like all of these hot button issues are presenting themselves for, you got to deal with me right now, like right in the middle of everything else that's happening. And it's crazy and it's chaotic, but what we have to do, I think, to keep our heads is to learn how to assimilate. Just like take it in and, you know, like make it your oatmeal. It might not be your favorite meal, you know, but you do it because whatever, you gotta have food, whatever. And it's, you know, not the most exciting one, But we have to learn how to like alchemize situations in our lives, because what we have always done, which is something happened or someone happened to us, and this creates emotions, and people get all heated up, and everyone wants to be right. Well, maybe we all want to be heard, because we're not all going to be right like all the time. There's too many of us. There's too many diverse opinions and situations, and I know we don't think we have time, but we have to learn how to make the time to understand that each individual, like, their situation is unique to them. And so we can no longer in my opinion, just lump everybody together, or just say this whole group is this, and like that's it, because that's not true of any group. That's not true of anyone. And it's not really fair. Like, no one wants to be homogenized and like epitomized in some kind of way that they're not. We need to understand, I think, and it may be a problem that we haven't understood this so well over the years, is that like everyone needs to be like heard a little bit, and we have to, I think, give that to people. Like, shut ourselves up and our things, just put them aside for a minute and say, what's up with you? Like, I know it doesn't sound like much, and like, how could we possibly all do it? Well, we can't all possibly all do it to every single person. That's not what I'm saying. If you should take this matter under consideration, like maybe you want to incorporate such a way of thinking into your own life, then you do it when you can, to the degree that you can, for the amount of time that both or all people can. I mean, we don't really accommodate each other unless it's transactional, really, or personal, like, romantic or family, or, like it's your child or something. But there's no reason we can't. There's a lot of people that could use the attention, that don't have what others have, which is maybe a lot of friends to talk to about things, or family to even just argue about stuff with, like, right now, let's say you're at a huge, gigantic protest, talk to people around you. Or if you're at work, probably even better, because here's the other thing that I was kind of thinking about. Like, every site that I'm on, I'm always in the lefty people's part of it. I don't go looking for what everyone says. Oh, it's so horrible, they're so mean, they're like whatever, the people on the right. Just not where I end up. But what I noticed is everybody's got a lot to say, like the woman I was talking about earlier. But all of us, I wonder how impactful we're being if we're all on the lefty side saying all this stuff to each other, when it needs to be, when we don't need to convince each other on the left. We need to get out there and get the message to the right, and not just like, what's wrong with you, and picking on you and yelling at you. There's a better way to debate. Doesn't even have to be a debate, because that's too close to argument, and we're already real close to that all the time. It's just my opinion, but what I find is that I'm talking to people that I don't share like political opinions with all the time. But I don't go there because I know it's a minefield. And there's more to people than just those things, you know, like I grew up with people that I had no idea were on the right for almost my whole life, but also I grew up the same way, didn't know people were gay or lesbian or whatever. I don't know, there's more to people than a hot button issue, you know, or something to argue about. And it's dehumanizing too. Well, it's easy to dehumanize people when you know nothing about them because you've invested zero time in trying to spend time with people you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, just a thought. I don't know what difference it makes. But as far as the acceptance and the assimilation, with so much going on, I think that learning to process stuff in that kind of way is a really good idea because it's just gonna become more before it tapers off and starts to get better, and we're not quite at the more state yet. So I just had those few thoughts that I wanted to say because I think it is now officially Sunday morning. I left the other phone in the other room, so I don't know what time it is. It's probably Sunday now. So, hey, it's summer. Woo, yay. Thank you and good night.